What's up, y'all? It's your girl Zeze back with another mother 11 vid. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on my notification bell, get your a thumbs up, share this mug, all that. You feel me? So today's video is going to be another reaction. Okay. And today we have two, I think it's two or three women, maybe two, women who are being interviewed by this guy. I think it's like a street interview, and he's just asking simple questions. About transgenderism and sports, okay, and particularly Mayweather, somebody like Mayweather, and women's sports, okay. Now this is just ridiculous to say the least, but I'm gonna let the video play and then we'll break it down and get into it. All right, let's see. Jesus.
You guys know who Floyd Mayweather is?
Yes. The
Yeah.
boxer, right?
Yes. 15-time world champion.
Yeah.
If Floyd Mayweather identified as a woman, should he be allowed to compete against other female boxers?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys all confidently say yes?
Yes.
Now this is just ridiculous. I mean, when I say this is delusional, this is dangerous. Floyd, you talking about Floyd Mayweather? He would literally go into women's sports and dominate. Nobody would be able to beat him. I mean, literally, I wouldn't bet on not one person being able to even kind of hurt this man. Like, are we being? This is such a dangerous language to have, and this is what I mean when I be talking about these extremes when they come to this when they come to this equal and being and allowing people in and wanting to live in this world of delusions. This is the dangers of living in these world of delusions, or trying to promote this delusion that we are the same. We are not the same. A trans man, a man especially of Mayweather's caliber, who has been fighting for years now. He said he's a 15, what did he just say? A 15 world champ. What did he say? I can't remember, but that nigga got hella one hella fights, to say the least. We can wrap it up like that. Okay. We're talking about a man who is professional in boxing, who has spent years boxing grown men. We're talking about he's fought some of the best of men. And you're saying that he just turned around and said, hey, I want to be women. I want to be a woman now. I want to go fight women's sport. It would just be like, yeah, sure, you're welcome. What? He should just be welcomed in. And we're not even, these women didn't even say, oh, well, I mean, yeah, but maybe if he would have to lower his testosterone and, and to get on hormones and he have to do this. They didn't even put no damn requirements on it. They just said, yeah, he could turn around and do it. Do you know how dangerous that is? And do you know how that replaces the hard work that women would put in if men were actually able to do that? Do you understand that women would not have damn near no place in sports if men were just able to come over and dominate? There's a reason why they created two separate lanes in the first place. There's a reason why when they had the NBA, they didn't just allow women to come in. They created a WNBA. There's a reason for that. Do you think this was just built off, oh, well, no, this just women aren't good enough and this is just sexism and the patriarchy needs their own lane? Like, no, nigga, that's a delusion. That is a fallacy these feminists put in their heads to make them think that people are really trying to downplay or make women unequal too, when it's like this is just a reality. Nobody's trying to make anything. Nobody's trying to force anything. Nobody's trying to oppress anything. It just is what it is. Now, if they did combine them, there would be some real oppression going on. There would be some real lines in the sand to show who's equal and who ain't. That's really where the problem's going to be if you put them in together, because then women really going to feel unseen or unheard because men are going to naturally dominate. They are naturally stronger, bigger, faster. Like, this is just something they were built with. It's not about how you feel. And these women are going off how they feel. Well, I feel like Mayweather should just be, if he feels like a woman, he should be able to come in. I feel like he should be able to just come in women's spaces because he feels like a woman. That is ridiculous. I mean, it's just nonsensical. And then on top of that, you got these women who do this because they feel pressured. They don't want to be canceled. They don't want to feel like, oh, I'm being insensitive, or I'm trying to discriminate, or I'm doing, that I want to be open, and I want to welcome people with open arms, and I want trans women to feel like real women because they are real women. They are so indulged. They are so they feel so much pressure to not to come off as transphobic, So they will go to these extremes and say stuff like this without even completely thinking it through. And even when logic comes to knock down their thoughts, they still will fight their hardest to make this illogical way of thinking work. But let's let dude continue.
You think that would be a fair fight
Yes.
if the organization forced the female boxers to have to compete and they
Yes.
had no choice?
Yeah.
Would you guys all call yourselves like women's rights advocates?
Yes.
Of course you would. Damn feminists.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if like my impression of all this would be to say that it looks like the future of women's rights is men punching women? How would you
Then I think
respond to
you're
that?
looking at the wrong thing.
Wow. And do you see what I mean? Even when logic comes through the door, comes marching right in, they still will ignore it to stay within their realm of delusional thinking. This is dangerous. He is correct. You got people like Fallon Fox that had already crushed a woman's skull. You're talking about women who are risking their lives now, going out to do something that men can go out and do and come back perfectly fine by just with a couple bruises. You're talking about women going out. You would rather have a woman go out and risk her life for the sake of saying something, someone who is not the same, is equal, or is welcome in the same space. You're willing to have women risk their lives to live in delusion. That is very, very, that is so dangerous. And that's why these women have to be called out. These feminists, they have to be called out, because at the end of the day, we can have, we can call out these trans people all we want, these trans women in more particular, or these trans activists in more particular, about how their nonsensical way of thinking will put us in danger. But women like this put us in great danger as well, because they will sit up here and be like, well, I'm a woman and I think we should da, da, da. And it's like, and these are white women too, so we know, they don't represent me as a black person. I'm a black woman, but I'm a black person first. But even within that, when you're talking about women in women's spaces, you have women like these feminists who will get up in front and and be the loudest and the proudest, and say, well, I'm a woman and I think that I feel that they're equal. I feel that they should be. And now these trans people, these trans activists, the people that's pushing for this, will use them as puppets and say, well, oh, look, well, no, women don't have a problem with it. Oh, well, look, these women over here are in support of it, because look at all the women we have prowling behind us. Well, it's like, baby, at the end of the day, is it really going to take for a woman's skull to be crushed and for her to die, or for her to be permanently affected, for her to be disabled, for y'all to really understand that this is just too dangerous? This is like so illogical and such in the realm of delusion that this is risking people's lives. Like, do we have to lose lives for y'all to understand the risk that you're taking saying stuff like this? It shouldn't take that. But for some of these women, I think it really does. They're really going to have to see that real reality, to see a grown-ass man that looks like a woman punch the hell out of a woman and make her almost bleed to death, or give her some sort of internal fracture, like hurt her brain, something like that. It's going to take them, for them to actually see that tragedy take place, for them to really understand that, baby, this ain't safe. This is very dangerous language. For you're risking people's lives talking like this. Like, Lord Jesus.
I'm seeing it wrong.
Not seeing it wrong, but I mean, well, yeah, but like, what do you?
I'm just mean, like, here's a real story as well. Fallon Fox also went through puberty as male and fractured a woman's skull in a fight. I look at that and go, like, I don't think that's women's rights.
But I don't know. Isn't it like boxing? It's just like dangerous overall.
Yeah, anybody could fracture someone's skull.
No, anybody can't. That don't happen every time. That don't happen often. Niggas ain't going into fights and getting women, at least specifically, ain't going into fights and just getting their damn skull fractured here and there every once in a while. No. That's why that story was so big, because that's not something that happens all the time. Yeah, it's a dangerous sport, but you're talking about life risking. Now you're talking about you're putting them in a possibly fatal position by putting them in that ring with a man, trying to just downplay it like, oh, well, it's dangerous anyway. So, well, people, can't you just get at a risk getting your skull fractured anyways? No, baby, not when you're going up in against the ring. And that's why they have weight classes too, baby. Like, what do you mean? Like, there's a way of going about it. It's not just you just get in the ring. You're a 150-pound person and you get in the ring with 300-pound dude, you know, that's a heavyweight champ going up against a light. Like it's that's not what's happening. They have classes. They have people that qualify to fight each other. You can't just, you know, like, that's just not how it works. That's a dangerous way of going about it. They're not going to put a person who's an amateur who just only had 2-3 fights against a person that's KO'd 30 other people. Like, that's not likely to happen because they know that person is probably going to get KO'd just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So that's just, I mean, this is a dangerous way of thinking. If you're trying to just downplay it like, oh, well, it's dangerous anyway. Well, maybe they didn't sign up to die. They decided to get their damn skull fractured or to possibly never be able to fight again after this one fight because the person they put up against them is extremely ahead of them physically. Like, come on.
I mean, you can, but you have a much higher chance, especially if you have like a biological advantage with your bone density, higher center of gravity, all the things that are advantaged by going through puberty as being male. You take that with you into a fight. So it sounds like you guys are all in agreement still.
Yeah. You have anything else?
I would just say, me personally, if I had a daughter, I'd be like, I'm running from this. I'm like, I would not want her to be in this fight. I think it's terrifying.
The redhead looked like she ain't always convinced. The redhead looked like she kind of want to disagree with him, but she don't want to be the one that's siding with the man. Or she don't want to be the one that's that she want to sound like the pick-me or sound like the transphobe, you know, sound like she's ignorant. But the redhead looked like because she didn't really say that much. She looked like she don't really agree with them all the way, to be honest.
I think women's rights is being set back decades over this. That's how I see it. You guys?
Yeah, it is. These so-called women's rights, these so-called feminists, they're working backwards. And you know what? A lot of the old feminists are not in alignment with a lot of these new modern age feminists who are pushing this type of agenda. A lot of them are like, this don't even make sense. How are we trying to fight to get our own spaces? And now y'all including the fight to get men into our spaces. What? You know, that's literally, it's working backwards, man. This is ridiculous. I'm sorry. You hear stuff like this and it's just like, I mean, you're talking about an extreme Mayweather. You're talking about Mayweather, bruh. Mayweather in a woman's I mean, it's just ridiculous. I don't know what y'all think in the comments below. Have you ran into a feminist or one of these LGBT white women in general, whichever, that have tried to push this agenda, and even with logic coming at them or, you know, breaking down their points, they're still trying to fight hard to keep their feelings in the center point, you know, trying to keep their feelings to trump your facts. You know, it's just, let me know what your thoughts on the comment below. Other than that, baby, that's all I got. All right, y'all. Egregious.